Thanks for talking to me today. I suppose before we get to the huge game tomorrow in Dalymount, just I suppose a reflection on, it's hard to believe that nearly half a season is gone at this point of what has gone before.
Yeah, look, there's 20 odd games gone, 16 league games to go plus FA Cup. So it's been a busy period. It's been very taxing on the players for every club. They squeeze so many games on in the first period of the season. Is always going to take its toll with injuries, suspensions and intensity of this league. But we're happy where we are. We would like to have picked up a few more points that we feel we have left behind, but there's still a lot of football to be played. We're sitting here and teams are going on to Europe. Draws have been quite favourable, and the longer they stay in Europe, other teams will be looking at it and saying maybe we can pull a few points back. But we're within touch and distance. All the teams around us have played a game more. By Monday they'll have played 2 games more, and we're quite happy where we are. But we also understand that there's a real need for us to continue to drive to get better. We've left 14 players out in the last window. I came in end of October, started November, and had to assemble a brand new squad. Delighted with the squad, but we would like to add to it as well and get better as we go.
And still relatively, compared to last season when match previews contained probably more of a player absence than a preview in itself, you've been doing quite okay, maybe bar 1 or 2 suspensions along the way as well, but you've been doing quite okay.
Yeah, look, we've completely restructured. We've turned to a full-time model. I think that has helped. We've changed the style of play to a certain degree. We're more possession based, I feel. We've, as I say, a huge personnel change at the club, both backroom staff and playing staff. But we're delighted where we've started from and where we're at the minute. But we're also very determined here that we want to get better. As I say, players have really bonded. They've got to know each other reasonably well in a short period of time. But we know there's more to come.
Some of the games that you were talking about where perhaps you let winning situations go, that UCD game, Cork City probably deserved the point from that. It was a bit of a freak result the way it happened. The 2 Shamrock Rovers games as well as coming across to tomorrow, from what I can remember of those games, there weren't an awful lot in them.
No, I don't think there's a lot in any of the games in this league this year. You look at some of the teams, Drogheda have just beaten St Pat's, Cork beat us. Cork have taken 4 points off Shamrock Rovers. Drogheda have beaten Derry and Brandywell. I think everybody's in the same boat this year. A lot of points have been dropped. There's no easy games, as we well know in this league, but I think it'll find its feet after this window. I think you tend to find that people find where they are. We're happy where we are, but again, as you say, we've left points behind us. I think some of them points have been left behind in terms of refereeing decisions. I think some have been left behind in discipline and getting a player sent off early on in games. I think that has cost us. We were down to 10 men in Shelburne, should have came away with a draw. We were down to 10 men after 12 minutes at Derry, still should have got something out of the game. We were down to 10 men against St Pat's and still should have got something out of the game. So those type of points is something that we want to make sure in the second half of the season we don't let go.
You mentioned one thing there that I think every manager, most players and I think every fan has spoken about this season, which has been certain refereeing decisions. Various managers have said various things. All you can control is what you're controlling now. But in the break or in the last period of time, has there been any opportunity to speak to the FAI and get any sort of clarification on some of the issues?
No, look, we haven't really challenged anything. We put a protest on about Dylan having been pushed on from one of the Shelburne players, pushed on to another Shelburne player and sent off. We appealed that. It was turned down. After that, we haven't appealed anything because, look, at the end of the day, it's human error at times. People make mistakes. Yes, we can all have a rant, but I've made mistakes this year. Players have made mistakes. Referees have made mistakes. Linesmen have made mistakes. It's a very difficult job. All we're looking for is a level playing field in terms of communication, talking to people, finding out why these decisions are made. But I've absolutely not had a go at any referees. We take the decisions on the chin. It's very annoying, very frustrating on a Friday or a midweek when these decisions go against you. But ultimately, they even themselves out. We were fortunate enough up in Derry in the last game to get away with a handball. So we take that as well.
You also mentioned very much still in it, which is very important. Dalymount's probably going to be bouncing.
Absolutely, and look, we haven't taken a point off Rovers this year. you can play as well as we've played, especially first half in Dalymount and throughout the game in Tala. But ultimately we haven't scored. Ultimately we haven't came away with any points. We can blame everything, but we haven't came away with any points, and we have to try and rectify that and send our fans home happy on Friday night. We know it's going to be very difficult. They've won 3 league titles in the span, and are very much on for their 4th. But we have to understand we're not bad either, and we have to go and have a right good crack at it.
And they've shown as well that they are beatable this season.
Well, I think everybody in the league is beatable. I think everybody is. I think if you don't come in with a 100% focus, quality and energy, and you just don't get to the levels that you're capable of getting to, then anybody can turn you over in this league.
We're coming into an interesting time in terms of transfers. I'm not sure in terms of the business going on here, but there have been sort of rumours about players that may be leaving, maybe staying, maybe coming in. Is there anything like, I mean, Grant Horton, for example, was one of the players that had been mentioned, possibly more so in media than the UK, maybe with a return. Is there anything you can shine light on? Yeah,
look, we want to keep Grant. Grant's an integral part of our group. We would love to keep him, but he's not our player. We've only had him on a short-term loan. Grant has done really well here, playing both centre-back and right-back. He's been here before, and he's been a pleasure to work with, but his club Cheltenham will be looking at how well he has done here, and maybe thinking that maybe they can step up under their first team, and that's natural. That he comes here to get games under his belt, showcase his talent to his own club, and we fully expected that this would be the case. But yes, we would like to keep Grant. I know there's other clubs that would like to take Grant, but ultimately Cheltenham are probably going to take him back, and depending on their recruitment, we'll see where we are. But we would love to keep Grant here at the club, but that will be out of our hands.
One or two whispers as well on James McManus.
Oh, look, I think it's been documented we've had a lot of interest for James. James has shown that he really wants to be here at Bohs. I don't imagine that, barring something sensational happening over the next couple of weeks, that James will be going anywhere. I think he's an integral part again of our group. He's not a young player that we're just dipping on to get minutes and try to showcase him. He's a player that is hugely important to us as a club. He gets us playing. He has a wonderful style of play. He's a real top player. And look, it'll happen for James. James will go somewhere if he continues to do what he's doing. I just don't imagine that it'll be in this window.
Fans will be itching to find out like who will be coming into Dalymount. Is there anything that you can give anybody a sense of relief?
I'm not going to stand here. We're working hard behind the scenes to see what's available, who we can get. But as of now, today, there's nothing concrete. We've had conversations. Myself, Pat Fenlon, all the backroom team have had conversations about areas that we would like to strengthen, but that's very much in the background at the minute. Our sole focus is trying to get 3 points on Friday night.
Has the season aim changed for you at all over the space of the season? I mean, I'm sure a lot of fans probably, based on last year, might not have expected for a time to be top of the table. Things have gone a different direction, but as I've mentioned before, still there and thereabouts. You've got cup competition, as you mentioned before, coming in, and the possibility of finishing with a European place too.
I think for me personally, it was about getting a team that had an identity of the club, that bought under the values of the club, that bought under the move to full-time football, and we've got that over the opening period of the season. The players have really put everything out there in terms of going after results, both home and away. We've had a couple of disappointments, absolutely, but I think our challenge is, last year we finished 6th and 46 points. We certainly want to outweigh and outdo that tally of points, but it's a bit of a cliche, but we take every game as it comes. But on the bigger picture of it, for me, the identity of the players, the willingness to work hard, which I didn't feel was there towards the end of last season, the desire to perform, and we have changed the style of play. We're a lot more possession based. We have a lot more technical players, I feel, and it's something that we just want to continue to strive to get better, and if we can do that, the wins and points will come with it.
Okay, that's perfect. Listen, Declan, thanks very much.
Thank you.